beautiful, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today we're going to be talking about Libra. So if you're interested in hearing more about Libra, if you're a Libra, no Libra, whatever the case may be that made you interested in this video, I am going to encourage you to please subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment down below, turn on your bell, whatever it is that you want to do. No pressure at all, but it does really mean a lot to me, so I want to say thank you. Let's just dive into Libra. Libra is an air sign, and Libra is a cardinal air sign at that. We also have not touched upon this energy yet. I mean, it's silly that I even say that because every sign's gonna have its own unique energy, but nonetheless, I find them all interesting, so I'm gonna highlight that each time. What do you get when you mix those two elements together? Well, Libra is ruled by Venus. A lot of the characteristics that Venus entails really do rub off on Libra, as well as its cardinal and its air qualities. And I think that when you meet a Libra, after you hear this description, you're like, wow, it really does make sense why they are that way. Air, like I've already mentioned before, is a very mental sign. They like to think about things, they like to break down ideas, they're more mental, they're more social, they're more all over the place. Like air travels long distances and hits many different people and places and animals, and so be it. And that's kind of like what Libra energy is like. I mean, all air signs are gonna kind of have those qualities, but I feel like Libra really takes the cake when it comes to that social butterfly energy. Gemini will also have that. Aquarius will also have that. Just think that Libra, that's Libra's thing, just being social. And so I feel like that socialness really comes from the air. And then with the cardinal, because cardinal wants to start new things, new ventures, meet new people, it wants to begin things. That's why Libra loves meeting so many different people, right? So you put those two elements together, you're gonna get someone that's a social butterfly, somebody that is kind of flighty. They don't really like to be held down by things around them or people around them or just circumstances in general. They like to really be free birds. I don't know if that's a thing, but you know, they like their type of energy. They like to go with the wind. They like to just kind of see where the wind's gonna take them, and if it's to a party with lots of new awesome people that they can, you know, meet and get to like them, then that's even better for the Libra. I have a very beautiful energy to them, like Taurus, so they're going to be quite charming. They're going to be well liked. They won't be the type of personality that you either love or hate. They won't be extreme in their approach. They're going to be quite balanced and they're going to approach you with a very kind, gentle, sweet, but social energy. Well, again, that's why Libra also gets associated with all things beauty and aesthetic and likes and dislikes and whatnot and romance and all that, because it's ruled by Venus, and Venus rules over all of that. Venus rules over art, beauty, aesthetic, all the lovely things, all the finer things in life that we enjoy as society and as people. And so Libra is going to encompass that very, very well. Libra is the 7th sign of the zodiac, as I'm sure you guys have gathered from my countdown. So Libra's archetype is the scales. That is supposed to represent fairness, balance, law in some circumstances, kind of, you know, like looking at the other side of things, making sure you have a well-rounded view and opinion on things. That's kind of like what the scales represent, and I think that that's why Libras really encompass those traits so strongly, because that it's a symbolism. That's why it was given to Libra, right? Because it's gonna give you a lot of those same qualities. Who's a Libra? Hilary Duff is a Libra. She is such a Libra. Like, I feel like she never really rubbed anybody the wrong way, because she always had this like elegance and charm to her that really made her very likable. She's quite beautiful, but it's more so her personality and her aura. She just seems very kind and fair and level-headed, because she kind of has this like airy energy to her, like, you know, social, bubbly, like down to see where life takes her, where situations might take her. She's such a Libra. You know, is big into art, which is a big Libra thing. You know, she's an actress. She had a brief music career. For me, is that she never really ruffled any feathers. So I already kind of gave you guys a brief overview of the general energy of Libra. Now let's get into some of the pros of Libra. Why does everybody love Libras? I personally think that everybody just absolutely loves Libras. I mean, I'm sure not everybody does, but These are their positive traits. This is why the people that love them love them. Libras just have this very balanced approach to everything they do, whether it be themselves, how they live their lives, how they treat other people, the activities that they pursue. They want things to be well-rounded. They want things to be balanced and fair for everybody involved. It's their biggest thing. Like, Libra's middle name is fair. They always tend to treat people well and with fairness. That's why a lot of people respect Libra, because they see them as just understanding people. Libra, they tend to understand things from all different perspectives, and that's why, you know, not only are they really good socially, but they could also be really good with social change and activism and things like that, because they really want the world to operate fairly. They want to see everybody win. That's, you know, an ideal for Libra. Another thing, because it is an air sign, guys, I'm so sorry if my camera's shaky or if the wind's kind of cutting me out. It is a little windy today, Canada, but just bear with me. You know, Libra is quite idealistic. And all air signs are mostly pretty idealistic, just because they are all up in their head. So they're always thinking about how the world should be rather than how the world is. Libra, they can be quite idealistic, and that's why I think that they just expect fairness all around in situations. And unfortunately, sometimes you don't get that fairness or that balance, and that really bugs Libra. Unless, even if they know that the world's not a fair place, they're going to do their best to bring fairness to it and bring some type of justice to it. And if it's not going to be with law or, you know, belief systems or whatnot, they're going to try their best to bring that to the people in their lives and their work, or, you know, wherever they go. Their idealism also ties in with how friendly they are and why they're friends with everybody, because Libra really doesn't see the bad in most people. Unless you're really being obvious about the fact that you're a terrible person, Libra will never be okay with that. It's a kind of more of a difficult time seeing through people's bullshit, because they can see something nice in everyone. They really can see the best in everyone, and this can really be beautiful because they're not very judgy, right? They can be friends with everyone. They can go understand why somebody is the way they are and not judge them. And who doesn't want to be around that, right? Who doesn't want to not feel judged? If you don't want to feel judged, hang out with Libra. But make sure that you're treating other people fairly and that you're being a good person, because Libras cannot be okay with that type of thing. So that's where they draw the line, just with like outright cruelty or like just really evil stuff. They also tend to put other people first before themselves, which can be so nice in a world where everyone's always concerned with their own agenda and their own gain. And Libra really knows how to put their own desires and egotistical drives aside for the benefit of other people. And also because they just couldn't be that unbalanced. Like, they need to have that balance within them, so they can't go one way or another too much. And again, that's why they have so many friends. People love that. People love when you put them first. They feel like you're not being selfish with your association with them. It brings that balance to the world. Okay, Libras, if they're not like extremely beautiful, and I mean, this isn't just a sun sign, it would mostly be an ascendant that would make you look beautiful or be beautiful, because that's like your appearance. But if you have a lot of heavy Libra energy throughout your chart, you might not be like beautiful physically, but it's just your energy that's beautiful, or the way that you are in relationships that's beautiful, or the way that you create art is beautiful, or the way you speak is beautiful, or it's just something about the way you do things is going to be beautiful and charming to people. And you're just going to have this like magnetism to you, not in the way that Scorpio kind of like reels you in with their mystery and magnetism, but more so just like this light magnetism towards the Libra, because they're just so charming and beautiful in their energy. Libras could also, you know, be really amazing with creating art, because they are ruled by Venus. Venus rules all over things aesthetically pleasing and beautiful and art. So Libras might be very into just aesthetics. So they might be really into outfits and clothing and making things looking really beautiful. They might be in the beauty industry. They might be painters. They might be makeup artists. They might, you know, do things in that arena where aesthetic eye is needed. It also crosses over with Taurus. Taurus is also ruled by Venus, but I feel like Libra grabs more of those Venus aspects and really amplifies them big time. I tend to root for the underdog because they need to bring balance to it, right? It's like if everyone's cheering for somebody else and there's this like one guy that like has some promise to him, but he's not like the superstar, Libra is gonna want to cheer that person on. They love to see the underdog win. Libra would be most likely to play like devil's advocate with very ingrained systems, and this is why sometimes you might see a lot of Libras in law, because, you know, Libra rules, well, Libra is represented by the scales, and that's also what represents the rule of law. And so a lot of Libras might be amazing lawyers because not only are they great socially, which you need to be a successful lawyer, but you also know how to see things from all different perspectives. And so you have a better vantage point than other people that are really tunnel visioned or stuck in their own ways of viewing the world. Libra can really have a very well-rounded perspective. And they also are great at playing devil's advocate. So this is a great trait for anyone that wants to be a lawyer. If you're Libra, you might either go one way and be more mentally active with your balancedness and go and pursue more humanitarian, or I don't want to say humanitarian necessarily because that's more Aquarius, just more like social justice issues. You're willing to go and bat for people that maybe are underrepresented or are marginalized. That could either go like the more mental way, where they're more interested in using their creativity and their balanced perspective and their charm to bring about positive change for the underdogs of society, or they'll be more aesthetically driven and more beauty driven and just really be into aesthetics and just making things look beautiful, or they might just be very beautiful in general. Tend to be romantic because they are ruled by Venus, but they are more so just very interested in fairness between their partner. Relationships, Libras will always make sure that you're being treated accordingly. When it comes to arguments, they'll always hear you out and try to understand why you feel the way you do or why you see things the way that you do. And they're going to try and really compromise with you. That's another key word for Libra. They love to compromise. They love to see everybody win. Another reason why they'd probably be great lawyers with litigation. So if you're in a relationship with them, you're always going to feel very understood, and like you're not going to be dealing with a very selfish person. You know, you're going to be dealing with someone that would rather give and see you happy at the end of the day. And who wouldn't want to be with that, right? Like that's such a great thing to have in a relationship. Every relationship needs that balance. I think of Libra, I think of integrity as well. I want to treat you right, but they also are going to expect that back. So they're not aggressive types at all. They do not like to ruffle feathers too much, unless it's like you're literally evil and they cannot stand you type thing. You're like the most unfair, unbalanced person in the world. Then they have no problem giving it to you. If you're more manipulative and like, I feel like Libras would fall prey to narcissism a lot. They try and be very fair, and narcissists love to gaslight you. So that's the biggest thing. Like Libras are always going to expect that give and take and the fairness within a relationship. It might take them a little bit longer to realize that they might be getting taken advantage of in relationships. Once it's gotten to the point where they can't ignore the truth anymore, then that's it. Libras will not accept unfair treatment, unjust treatment, just like awfulness from people. They won't do that. They'll deal with a lot, but then when it gets to a certain point where it's like crazy to them, they are not going to deal with it anymore. But Libras, you keep going. You're awesome. You're great friends. You're great loved ones. You're just, here's the thing, guys, like everything has dualism in life, right? So you might find a Libra that's everything that I just described, and then you might come across a Libra that's everything that I'm going to describe in the cons. So that's the thing. We need to really understand that every energy has its light and its dark to it, its yin and its yang. And so we can't box certain energies and say that they are always good or these ones are always bad. And I hear this a lot with like Scorpio energy. A lot of people want to say that Scorpios are like the devil or whatever. Libras are angels, or what, you know, these stereotypes that are fun to you know, make a TikTok on or like whatever, because they're funny and they make people laugh. But I think that they can sometimes be misleading because it's not true. Now, let's jump into Libra cons. Negative Libra traits that could manifest in a less developed or balanced Libra. That balance to their life, they're really going to be off balance, and you're going to notice that in them. you come across a Libra and they're really not doing well and they're not happy in their life and they aren't seeing things how they should, they don't have their rose-colored glasses on, then you're gonna notice that they're really off balance. Everything's kind of a mess with them. They might be overly negative, overly defensive about things. They might play devil's advocate with everything. And it's like, the issue is that sometimes they'll play devil's advocate and they don't even agree with what they're arguing against. They're just doing it to do it. Most have this like drive to like prove people wrong, go against the norm when it comes to opinions and stuff. Kind of don't have the right reasons behind why they're doing that. It's just kind of like this never-ending game with Libra where they just kind of want to prove you wrong, kind of prove that you're not as good of a person as you make yourself out to be. It's really weird. It's like they're out to prove that like you're secretly not a good person or something. Meanwhile, they're kind of being not a great person by what they're doing, right? So that's the thing. Like, Libras can get very annoying sometimes to people because they're constantly just playing devil's advocate on things that they don't even actually believe in. The thing that isn't great about Libras, because they are very social and love to be friends with everybody, and most people do want to be their friends, so they have friends from like all walks of life. Libras will be quite popular, but the biggest thing that Libra has a really hard time doing is standing in their power and standing up for themselves. They let people walk all over them, but also they have a hard time standing up for other people sometimes. Like, if it's a situation where it's like a group dynamic and there's like a fight going on between two friends, a Libra probably won't stand up for you. They just would rather stay out of the conflict. They're quite passive because they're ruled by Venus, right? They want things to be very lovely, calm, and harmonious. And so if they don't feel that harmony going on, they feel like their only purpose is kind of to play mediator. So you'll notice how Libras, they'll just kind of play mediator during fights or during arguments. They take a side. They'll kind of just be in the middle. And a lot of people lose respect for Libra when they do that, because it's like, Libra, you have to pick a side. You can't just sit on the fence and have everybody like you. You can't play both sides, right? It comes off as fake. That's where Libra can kind of lose some of their friends. Although they have so many, they'll never run out. But where they can kind of lose some of their real friends because they have a really hard time standing up when the time is right. Kind of shut down and have a hard time making decisions. Some people that are close to them might feel like Libra doesn't really have their interest at heart, because some people might feel like Libra just, at the end of the day, just cares about their friends and being liked. And it's so ironic because Libra is known as the sign that's like all about the other, but being all about the other has to have some root in your own motives, because everybody has their own motive. And I think that that's why some people get turned off with Libra. It's because they try and act like their motives are so pure and like they don't have their own agenda at heart and all this. And it's like, everybody has their own agenda, Libra, and yours might be more focused on the other, but it doesn't mean that that doesn't serve your own agenda of wanting to be well liked and liked by everybody and friends with everybody, because you know that there are benefits to that. They're gonna act like they're, you know, when they're more imbalanced, they're gonna act like, oh, I'm just doing it out of like the goodness out of my heart and all that, and like they might be. The other side of it is that they have to admit that they're human like everybody else and that they have their own motives, and because they can't be real about that, people again don't respect them sometimes, because it's like, you're not being honest and true about who you really are because you want to be liked. Libras might be more susceptible to narcissistic behavior and narcissistic partners, and that is the truest thing. Like, when they aren't seeing things clearly and when they're really like almost disillusioned by what they're experiencing or who they're with, they're gonna be like, you know, that rug that everyone walks all over. Like, they are going to get walked all over. Their boundaries are going to be trampled over. And because they don't like to ruffle feathers and they want things to stay harmonious, they let so much go. Like, they let so much bad shit go because it's not that bad. It's like, that bad for them is like murder, like that bad. And that kind of like takes a lot of power out of the Libra, because they're just being sucked. Their energy is being sucked out of them. Their kindness is being sucked out of them. They're being taken advantage of. And so they just end up being this like spineless person that just kind of lets their partner pull the leash. They don't ever put their partner in their place until it's like way too late. They just let things go on and on and on until they can't take it anymore. And then they just like cheat. Sometimes, you know, Libra, you need to learn to just hurt people's feelings, because not everybody cares about yours as much as you care about theirs, and it fucks you over. And that's why a lot of people don't respect you sometimes, because you don't know how to stand up for yourself, and you need to stand up for yourself and the people that you love when the time is right. You need to just make decisions, you know, on things and not think about them so much and worry about what everybody else is going to think about them. Can also manifest for a lot of Libras is that they never get things done. They just kind of float through life, and they never really make any decisive action towards their goals, because they're just not like that. They're more of they're an air sign, right? They're more mental in their head, daydreaming, up in the clouds, like everything's beautiful. I think, you know, because everything's beautiful, everything's just going to work out for me on its own, and I don't really have to do anything for it. But like, you do. You need to go and have a little bit more drive with life. And this is the more negative depiction of it. For balanced Libras, they know that. They know that they have a hard time with decision making, and they know that they have a hard time committing. And so they make sure that they focus on those things. Libras have a terrible time with commitment, and that's why people call them flakes. They'll make plans with a bunch of people because they want to be friends with everyone, and then they'll cancel last minute because they didn't really want to go. They just did it to please the other. But then what did you end up with? People thinking that you're a flake, and then people don't trust you, and then your whole balance act kind of just goes out the window. People will actually respect you more if you stand in your power and stand up for yourself. And you might come off a little bitchy, but at least people will respect you more than if you just let them walk all over you and don't really have a spine or an opinion and just kind of go with the wind. And so Libra, if you are feeling unbalanced in life, if you're feeling like you can't make decisions and it's because you're worried about what everybody else is going to think about it, remember that. It's okay to ruffle feathers sometimes. It's okay for things not to be completely balanced all the time. That's life. That's life. Anyways, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, that it was informative. I hope that it resonated. If you know a Libra, or if you're a Libra, let me know down below what you thought about this video. Share with your favorite Libra. I don't know, tease them about how balanced they are. I don't know. Do you, boo? But again, I just want to encourage you, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Please like this video, hit your bell, leave me a comment down below, whatever you want to do. Yes, I am going to see you guys in our next video, which will be Scorpio, magnetic Scorpio. So yeah, I hope you guys have a lovely day. If you're here in Canada, you know, say a quick prayer that this weather stays this way, because I really don't want it to snow again. So see you later, beautiful, and you know, I'm sending you lots of love and light, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.